But comic book movies are just for nerds. Well, comic book movies just domestically, so that's in North America alone, have combined made over $22 billion. Yes, billion with a big ol' B. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another Top 10 Wednesday, or Top 10's Day if you'd prefer. Today I'm going to be going off a suggestion of one of my recent videos, and this one comes from Mega Movie Man, who asked me to do either Top 10 M. Night Shyamalan movies when... Does M. Night Shyamalan even have 10 good movies? Or Top 10 comic book movies. So for today, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite comic book movies. And before I get on with this list, be sure to suggest what you want to see for the next Top 10 Wednesday. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Edgar Wright's underrated gem. This movie is so good, from its visuals, which look like they hopped right out of the comic book page, from its kick-ass soundtrack to its stellar cast, and its absolutely on-point comedy. This movie is a real treat, and if you have yet to see it, definitely check it out because you are absolutely missing out. Coming in at number 9 is Zack Snyder's 300. 300 has to be one of the best medieval war movies of all time. Now, of course, I know it's super stylized, it's almost all done on green screen, but this movie is badass and has so many iconic moments. Gerard Butler will forever be known for this role, and you will, till the end of your days, be hearing people screaming, "This is Sparta!" As well as so many other badass lines. This movie is just pure cinematic enjoyment. It's gory, it's awesome. It's just testosterone-fueled badassery, and it has to be seen. Coming in at number 8 is Robert Rodriguez's Sin City. Based off of Frank Miller's critically acclaimed graphic novels, this color palette is done this way on purpose, and it looks like you are watching these comic book pages in motion. It literally, bit for bit, panel for panel, is the graphic novel. And this is a gory, over-the-top, masterfully made comic book movie. Now, it may not be for everyone because although on the outside it looks like it's trying to be a bit realistic, it's really not. The stories are outlandish, the characters even more so, but trust me, once you come to terms with the insanity, it is one hell of a wild ride. Coming in at number 7 is Kick-Ass, and Kick-Ass is... it's kick-ass. It takes a realistic approach to the superhero genre, and I cannot say enough positive things about this movie. Probably my favorite role from Nicolas Cage. This movie is rude and crude, gory, real, down, and dirty. It takes the premise of what would superheroes be like in today's world, where the bad guys don't come at you one-on-one, where they're not sprouting off one-liners, and where you have to have guns to put people down for good. This movie is dark and gritty, but it's also lighthearted, filled with humor and heart, things with messages about family, about finding out who you are, about finding love. This movie pretty much has it all. Coming in at number 6 is one of my favorite action movies of all time, and one of the most criminally underrated movies to ever hit the big screen, and that is Dredd. This movie is damn good. Set in a dystopian future where the United States of America is divided up into mega cities, with some cities reaching from Boston all the way to Washington being labeled Mega City 1. We follow Judge Dredd and his new apprentice as they take on Mama and her whole clan. When the action hits, it is one of the most aggressive and kick-ass action movies there is. If you have not seen Dredd, you are doing yourself a massive disservice. Just go watch it. Coming in at number 5 is my one pick from the DCEU, and that is Man of Steel. I know, I can hear you guys now. What about Wonder Woman? Where's Aquaman? No, as you should all know by now, Man of Steel is my favorite DCEU movie. I think it is the pinnacle of the Superman character, embodies everything he has ever stood for, and it is the action sequences from the comics, from the animated series that we have always wanted to see and just never had the capabilities of getting until now. This movie isn't just all spectacle and no substance. Michael Shannon, my favorite villain, hands down of the DCEU. I adore this movie. Fantastic. On to the next one. Coming in at number 4 is Spider-Man 2. Again, this is the pinnacle of the character Spider-Man. Better than Homecoming, better than The Amazing Spider-Man. Everything about it is fantastic. Once again, you have Tobey Maguire returning as Spider-Man, and this one is a much more personal story than we got in the first one. He's deciding, does he want to be Spider-Man or not? And then you have Alfred Molina's definitive performance as Dr. Octopus, Could anyone have really played this guy? Will anyone ever play him this good again? Probably not. The action's great, the storytelling is great, the heart is there. What's gonna top that subway sequence? Seriously. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Logan. Hugh Jackman's best performance, Sir Patrick Stewart's best performance. This is the Wolverine movie we've always wanted to see. It is R-rated, and they put that to good use, whether it's the language, the non-stop gore-filled adrenaline-pumping action, or the one pair of boobies. This movie is everything we've ever wanted to see from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, accumulated into one movie. It's filled with heart, it's filled with crushing moments, it's filled with uplifting moments, and that ending just simply cannot be beaten. Coming at number 2 is going to be Captain America Civil War. No, not the Winter Soldier. No, not Iron Man or the First Avengers or Infinity War. My favorite movie in the MCU is still Captain America Civil War. The main reason I adore this movie, aside from the amazing airport sequence and all these characters that we know and love by now, the thing that I love the most about this movie is the pure fact that it really does take a look at the bystander's perspective. Every other action movie out there, they just blow up cars, blow up buildings, no one thinks about anything. This movie takes a real in-depth look of the consequences of the Avengers' actions, and that hits me to my very core. I love everything about this movie. Nothing in the MCU, yes, even Infinity War has yet to top Captain America Civil War for me. And coming in at the number 1 spot and my favorite comic book movie of all time, and you really should have seen this one coming, it's The Dark Knight. Quite possibly my favorite movie of all time altogether, not just comic book movies. What else can I say about this movie? You have Heath Ledger's performance, Oscar-winning performance, my favorite villain of all time, Christian Bale as the Batman, Michael Caine as Alfred, Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, whether it's the incredible set pieces, whether it's the performances, whether it's anything with this movie, top to bottom, I really can't find any flaws with this movie, and that's why it ends up in the number 1 spot as my favorite comic book movie of all time. So if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know, what are your top 10 favorite comic book movies? Be sure to check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links will be in the description and at the end of the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. And counting down my top 10 video games that deserve a movie. Coming in at number